Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I'm the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, tonight we're doing an episode of Favorites, show I do every Wednesday night, which I pick a top 5 or 10 or maybe 25 or a ranking of the songs or ranking of an albums. Or band ranking, which I don't do that often, but I do it. So today we're going to do a top 25 ranking. This one's not too serious of an event because, to be honest, I don't think I have a single prop for any of these, which would make sense when you consider the title of the video. So the title of this video is 25 bands I have not or I have never followed. To be honest, I'm not really interested in these bands too. So I tried to think of the 25 bands. There's probably more, but I got 25 here. These are bands that I'm not interested in and I never really followed. There's not going to be a lengthy explanation about it, all the bands or why it is, because I've never really followed them, so I don't really know too much about them. So we're not doing this in any particular order. They're not ranked best to worst or anything like that because I simply have never followed them. So we'll start with the first one up is called Red Rider. This is a band that's been around for a while, I believe, at least in the 80s, I remember them. And if I'm not mistaken, they have at least the vocalist. I am aware of his music and actually have one of his albums, if he indeed actually does come from this band, which I'm not sure. And at this point in time, I don't even remember his name. Anyway, so Red Rider. I think they might be Canadian as well, so I'm sure somebody will leave a message below if they are. Next up is REO Speedwagon. Yeah, I don't dislike them. I just don't listen to them. The only thing about them I remember is that they toured with Styx once, which I guess in some ways I was a bit annoyed that people were saying they were similar bands. I don't see any similarity. Styx is one of my absolute all-time favorite bands, and this band, I don't follow it in the slightest. So hard to believe that they might be the same sound. But I don't know for 100% sure because I simply don't follow them. The next band up is Tool. Now, a lot of people suggest that I would probably like this band and I should follow them. I think I actually did listen to a couple of tracks by them, but I wasn't the slightest interest in them, and I have no interest in following them now. So they get no follow from me here. Smashing Pumpkins. I have heard bits and pieces of their music at time, but if you asked me to name anything, I couldn't tell you. I don't know a single thing about them, other than they have I think it's these guys. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got it mixed up with somebody else, but I think they're the ones with the really good. Actually, I don't think it is them, so I'll just leave that dead. Yeah, so Smashing Pumpkins. So that's a fourth one. The fifth one, Green Day. Now, I did have a Green Day album. I did have one. And I listened to it and said, this is not for me. I'm not interested. And I gave it to a friend of mine, and that person has been happy ever since. Me, on the other hand, I've also been happy because I don't have that album anymore. So next up is a band called Oasis. I know very little about them, other than they're one of the biggest bands in the world. No interest in following them. Couldn't tell you a single track by them. Well, at least not off by hand anyways. Maybe at some point something might come along and I'll be able to tell you something about them, but I'm not going to be looking anytime soon. So that's the six. That's 6. Number 7, Black Crowes. Now, I do know a few tracks by them, but if you put a gun to my head, I might be forced to remember one of the track names, but at this point in time, I barely recall the song other than it was of not much interest to me. So Black Crowes, and this might seem a little bit of a strange band to be on this list for me, but I've just never really been interested in them, nor do I wish to follow them. Next up is the Foo Fighters. Now, I have heard stuff from them. I know who's in the band. I know some of the members because they were the guys who inducted my favorite band into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. For that, they get full kudos. I do like Dave Grohl. Sorry. I did like Taylor Hawkins. But this band, I've tried to listen to them a couple times after that because they were Rush fans. I thought they might have something similar, but no, nothing there. So I have no interest in these guys either. Red Hot Chili Peppers. This was the band I was going to mistakenly say had a great bass player. Some people have ranked him up there with Geddy Lee. I do not know if that's true or if it isn't true because I don't follow them. So, and I have no interest in following them either. Next up is Dokken. Yeah, there are reasons why this might be a band I might follow, but at this point in time, I haven't followed them, and I don't really have any interest in going checking them out either. Next up is Bryan Adams. Of course, like everybody, I know at least one Bryan Adams song, and I'm sure I know others, but it's only because they're on the radio and maybe I might remember them, but I've had little, if any, interest in following this guy ever at any point in time. So where are we at here? That is number 11. So this will be number 12. I guess I should have numbered them. Dave Matthews Band. Can't tell you a single thing about them other than what I recall of them isn't really memorable to me. So number 12, Dave Matthews Band. Next up, David Wilcox. Yeah, I recall vaguely some of his stuff, but I also vividly recall that I didn't care for any of it, so I won't be following him either. So that is, I believe, number 14. I think it was number 13, actually. Number 14, maybe they shouldn't be on here, or number 16, I should say. I think it's 14. 14? Yeah, number 14. Probably shouldn't be on here. They might fall more into the category, which I will do an episode of much later or a few weeks from now called 25 Albums I Have Never Followed, but might be interested in following. And that will come in the future, but at the moment, not happening. The band that might go in that next one is The Animals. At times, I think I might want to follow them, but they just don't interest me, so I don't take that to that at all. Next up, number 15, Sammy Hagar. I didn't like them with Van Halen. I didn't care much for them with Montrose, and I'm not following them now as Sammy Hagar, so that's good for me. So that's, I think, 15. That's 14, actually. So number 15 is going to be, actually, this will be number 16, The Grateful Dead. Yep, Grateful Dead. A band that has a lot of kind of weird sounds to their music, and I think my computer just did a skip there. That's weird. Never did that before. Anyways, we'll continue along. The Grateful Dead, not a band I've ever followed. Not a band. I don't really care for their style of music, and I just have no interest in following them. Next up, Rage Against the Machine. I couldn't tell you a single song they did. I don't know really that much about them. And I'm not really interested in finding out either. Next up is the Pixies. This is a band that maybe I might follow someday, but I highly doubt it, so not going to happen probably. So that is, I believe, number 17. Yep. Number 18, The Band. Actually, I think this was number 18. The Band is a band I kind of didn't like at one point, but then that didn't like has just faded to non-interest. Just not interested at all in the band. Bon Jovi, my mother's a big fan of this guy. He does, I guess, have some decent songs. He's the one guy on here probably shouldn't be on here. I don't dislike him, and I do remember some of his tracks, so maybe I might follow him at some point, but I wouldn't hold my breath. So next up, that was number 20. Number 21, Coldplay. Just don't like them. Don't care for them, have no interest in listening to them, and probably will never follow them. Number 22 is Korn. This is a band that I vaguely remember being somewhat too poppy for a metal band and being not a great sounding metal band, so I just never, and I don't even know if they're a metal band, so that's how little I know about them. 22. Number 23, this is a guy that probably belongs on a list of bands I don't really like, but then I can't think of why I wouldn't like him. So I decided at the last minute he had to go in this list because he's somebody I don't follow him and not interested in more than he would ever be classified as somebody I don't like. And that's Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Number 24, I don't like Blackie Lawless, but I don't really know much about his band, and therefore it's pretty hard to say I don't like them or wouldn't, or they're not on a list of bands I don't like. I'm just not interested in going there because I know he's a member of it. That's Wasp. And last but probably least is White Zombie. This is a band I know very little about. I've heard a couple things here and there, but it was so unmemorable I can't remember anything about it. So White Zombie in there for number 25. I'll give them to you all now again, with so that just in case you might have missed it, because it was kind of short. There's really not much to say about them. So the first one, Red Rider. Number 2, REO Speedwagon. Number 3, Tool. Number 4, Smashing Pumpkins. Number 5, Green Day. Number 6, Oasis. Number 7, Black Crowes. Number 8, Foo Fighters. Number 9, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Number 10, Dokken. Number 11, Bryan Adams. Number 12, Dave Matthews Band. Number 13, David Wilcox. Number 14, The Animals. Number 15, Sammy Hagar. Number 16, The Grateful Dead. Number 17, Rage Against the Machine. Number 18, The Pixies. Number 19, The Band. Number 20, Bon Jovi. Number 21, Coldplay. I wished. Coldplay. Number 22, Korn. Number 23, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Number 24, Wasp. And last but not least, White Zombie. So those are 25 bands that I never really followed and really don't have an interest in following. Now, we'll do another episode, but it'll be a bit of a follow-up of 25 bands that I never followed that I might be interested in following. So that might be a bit of a different list. I may even do a third one called 25 bands I never followed and I really don't like them, so there's no chance of me following. But I don't think there'd be anybody on that list, because if I don't like you, then I must have followed you in the first place. Otherwise, how would I know that? But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of a fun and quirky set, 25 set. I hope you liked it. Please hit the like and subscribe. Do you have any of those bands that you know they're out there, you've heard of them, but you don't really follow them, nor do you have any interest in following them? Put those comments in the comment section below, and we will be back next Wednesday with another episode of Favorites. So take care and have a good night, and goodbye.